York City firefighters within the sound of our voices, a total recall is in effect. All firefighters and officers should report to duty. You are needed. All firefighters in New York City should report to duty. You are needed today.
Why are they pulling us out of here?
Because the tower's leaning.
The North Tower is leaning.
Do you know anything about anything?
Remain where you are. You shouldn't panic. You shouldn't worry. We're doing the best that we can to evacuate southern Manhattan below Canal Street.
Oh my God, there it goes! Shit! Come on! Come on, come on, come on! Come on, let's go!
You should walk north.
Oh my God! The train down is collapsed!
Apparently, the entire New York City subway system has been shut down now, so we have a lockdown above ground, as you said, and below grounds as well. Lincoln, Holland tunnels, George Washington Bridge are all closed. The Tappan Zee Bridge is open at this time. East River Bridge then
They want to go in and they don't want to turn around. They just people are just in awe. They can't go to work anyway. What's the difference?
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Oh my God, Jimmy Beaslin's wife. She works in the World Trade Center.
Now there's 40,000 people.
It's really hurt.
I can see the buildings in the smoke.
You see the buildings in the smoke?
Yeah,
Yeah. A couple of buildings are missing now.
but I don't want the building in the smoke.
Oh, well, so nobody gets hurt, right?
No.
Worst thing I could have ever imagined my whole life. I'm sad that I'm even watching it, to be honest with you.
You are about to be on with the mayor.
Mayor Giuliani to join us by telephone.
The first thing I'd like to do is take this opportunity to tell everyone to remain calm. It's a horrible, horrible situation, and all that I can tell them is that every resource that we have is attempting to rescue as many people as possible. And
A lot of people got wiped out. Sure.
some horrendous number of lives lost. I don't think we know yet, but we have a lot of police officers, a lot of firefighters, a lot of emergency personnel that were down there. We've moved city government to the firehouse in Greenwich Village. That's where I'm operating from right now.
Conditions are unreal here. Numerous members down. Numerous requests for oxygen. Special thanks to the rig of 235 who provided shelter right after the collapse in the dust storm.
Good afternoon. Today is obviously one of the most difficult days in the history of the city and the country. The tragedy that we're all undergoing right now is something that we've had nightmares about, but probably thought wouldn't happen. My heart goes out to all of the innocent victims of this horrible and vicious act of terrorism, acts of terrorism. And our focus now has to be on saving as many lives as possible.
Do we know the number of casualties at this point, sir?
I don't think we really want to speculate about that. The number of casualties will be more than any of us can bear ultimately. And I don't think we want to speculate on the number of casualties. The effort now has to be to save as many people as possible.
There have also been reports of large loss of life among the police and firemen who were sent there to rescue people. How accurate are those reports?
There is no question that we lost police officers and firefighters, and some that I know personally, and all of us here know personally, that we're very worried about.
Thank you, sir.
Some of the information was too brutal. I think I said that day that I don't think people could handle the full implications. And all of a sudden, it dawned on me that Beth's husband was Terry Haddon, who was the captain of Rescue 1. And I looked over and I said to her, was Terry working today? And she said, yes. And just tears came down her eyes.
She looked at me and she said, he's dead. And I got angry. I said, you don't know that, Beth. You don't know that. And she said, yeah, I know that. I felt it, and I know that.
Sometimes I just worry that he was afraid. But knowing him, I think he was completely focused on the job at hand. And sometimes it makes me angry. But I don't think that I think in the back of his mind, he was more concerned about where I was and the fact that I was far enough away from the trouble. But I don't think that he considered his not coming home. And sometimes that makes me angry. It's almost like he didn't choose me. But I can't blame him for that. He was doing his job. That's just who he was, and that's why I loved him so much. So I can't blame him for that. Sorry.
And I went over to her and I just hugged her and I said, I'm very sorry. I'm just really sorry. I said, we'll do the best we can to find him. We'll see if we can find him.
I've seen dozens upon dozens of firefighters getting to the World Trade Center area.
There is still a sense of crisis. We have sirens, police vehicles racing down the middle of the street, and still a sense that this thing has not been completely contained yet.
You got to force our way into buildings and start making triage centers. So I need forcible entry tools and men.
Visibility in the worst hit area is said to be zero. Even now, hours after this happened, there are scores of emergency vehicles, and all around the sirens have been wailing, reminding people that
firefighters are pulling back for fear that a 40-story building just north of where the towers were is going to collapse, and if it does, it may hit a 6-story building that's right next to it.
And another building, building number 5, also in danger of collapse.
There is so little they can do to try to fight the fires in these buildings because the fires are so massive.
Next to the World Trade Center, both of them are involved in fire. There is fire shooting out of the windows of those two buildings. There is black smoke rising over
Building
the hall.
7
in the most peril right now.
7 wall goes, going by what it was this morning, it's this big black fucking shit. No one can breathe anything, so make sure you got a building that you're going to dive into.
Be careful, because they said when the building, if it does drop, it's going to come this direction.
Thanks. You be safe too, all right?
Okay.
Building 7 ablaze at the moment and apparently getting ready to collapse.